All right, welcome to another episode from the chart reader. So I am zoomed out this much for a reason. All right, yesterday was a pretty big day for the sector. All right, and a lot of it was because of a rumor. Let's be honest about it, right? But don't forget what Kamala did. All right, so again, yesterday she basically took the torch. As of today, she's actually officially the Democratic representative, right? Like, she has all the major support and this and that. I don't really follow politics a lot, but it looks like she is officially the one now, right? And again, I'm in this view because it wasn't that long ago. It was literally this candle right here, right, between the 15th and the 18th right here, where Kamala made an almost out of the blue pro-weed comment that just took us from fearing the loss of this line and heading towards all-time lows into a very beautiful run that, hey, we haven't held necessarily, but again, that's kind of what sparked yesterday, right? Maybe she's going to do this again, and maybe she'll do this for 4 whole years, right? TLRY and CGC, I'm going to bundle together. I'm actually going to bundle SNDL and ACB together. I don't know if I'm going to spend a lot of time on those ones, but those two actually seem very similar. And then I want to look at HITI, all right? But again, we had a big candle, not quite the confirmation we needed here. We had a big candle, not quite the confirmation we wanted here with SNDL, one more letter, SNDL. It's an interesting, obviously not the confirmation, but a better doji than the other two, to say the least, right? ACB, almost that same thing. I guess it's a little closer to the CGC one. Now that I look at this, I don't even know if I'm going to cover ACB on this one. And then high tide, you are at a very critical place, all right? We went from above all 5 to at the last of the 5, right? So we are at bounce or die, and hey, so far the week starting well, all right? But just need a little bit more from all of them. Clearly high tide a little bit different than the other ones, right? But before we do go any further and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can, please subscribe to this channel. Share this video online with your friends. Comment good or bad if you disagree. Look, anything you can do helps so much with these YouTube algorithms, but for real, just being here and giving me your time, oh, I am so grateful for it, all right? So let's get into TLRY. And, you know, there's one common theme across all my videos, all right? We're not here for a single good day. That's not the goal of what the chart readers is, right? We're looking for sustained uptrends, and it really starts with confirmation, all right? Yesterday was a really big candle on TLRY, all right? I'm grouping TLRY and CGC together because it's literally the exact same thoughts. This was a very big candle on CGC. CGC on Friday was actually below the 100 moving average. On Monday, yesterday, we actually gap over the 100, and we break the 50. We take 2 moving averages on CGC. TLRY actually more. TLRY regains the 8, takes over the 100, and actually takes the 200. 3 out of the 5 moving averages, let alone the 2 strongest, one of the 5, right? Those were big candles across both. And what we really need is good confirmation, all right? There were moments when it was peaking, right? You can see the high of the day was a little higher than 195. It hits 196, right? But I still think we're looking for this 201 number on TLRY, all right? You know, when this uptrend was going, one thing I talked about was TLRY's RSI was really high. You can see it was actually pushing 80. And don't get me wrong, we've seen much higher than 80, but RSI is actually supposed to live between 30 and 80, 80's too high, you got to come to high. I said that weird. 80's too high, you got to come down a little bit, reset a little bit. Hopefully you go back up instead of down to 30, right? And, you know, we go too high, we come back down to roughly the middle, we work our way back up. It's a lovely thing, right? So Tilray does a pretty healthy cool down, a lovely bounce on the 50. You can even arguably say the 20 moving average, but whatever, right? It looks like the 8 and the 20 are starting to become a friendly line and a friendly team here. And I think it's a little easier to see with CGC. That's a nice 8 moving average that looks like it's going up, up, up. And it seems like the 20 moving average is getting ready to hook on up, right? We didn't quite do it today, but yeah, I'm imagining a golden cross tomorrow on that 100. Hey, maybe even the 50 by the time we get to Thursday, right? Like I'm just kind of roughly guessing that's the slope we'll maintain, right? So that's tomorrow right there, something like that, right? And then boom, we'll come to there maybe Thursday, right? So seems like the 8 is working its way on up. Obviously the 8's going to be moving roughly 3x faster than the 20, right? 8, 16, 24. So this is going to move that much faster, right? So that exponential move will come eventually, right? Like you can see it's starting to make that little peak that this thing started to do right here, right? So I like seeing the 8 and the 20 go up. I like believing it. And look, we've just done the same thing not that long ago, right? We went up, up, up the 8, and really the 20 didn't do much. And I remember talking about that. Look, we go up the 8, just completely lose the 20. We go up the 8, just completely lose the 20, right? We go up the 8, completely lose the 20. Like this 20 moving average hasn't been that strong, all right? So just, I would keep a little extra focus on the 8 itself. But hey, as long as the 8's golden crossing and as long as the 8's going up, that's a good thing, all right? 77. So RSI on CGC is now just a little bit high, right? And that's the invert, not the inverse really, but that's the opposite, right? It was too high the last time I made the video, or give or take one of the last two. Now Tilray's actually looking a little better, right? But in terms of the moving averages, not yes and no, right? I'm glad we're over the 8, don't get me wrong, but hey, CGC is actually over all the moving averages. Didn't confirm, but hey, that's always going to be a little better. One thing I don't like about this doji, so look in the box over there. The low of the day was 189, and that was actually the close of the day. I'm not the biggest fan when the low, like the low, that's where it ended, right? There was never a moment when someone wanted to buy that low. Nonetheless, we're over the 8 moving average, so I think to me that's going to matter more, all right? Tilray, I do not want to lose 188. The good thing, you can kind of make the argument that the fall's not crazy, all right? If we lose 188, we're only going to come down to 181. That's you know, there are worse falls you can have when you lose moving averages, right? I think the easy thing to say is I do not want to lose 180. If I lose 180, I feel like I'm going to lose more than 10% and fall all the way down to 160, 20 cents lower, right? So yeah, to me, I would hate the loss of 180. You know, that 188 line could be worse, but hey, hopefully good things happen. And again, one thing I was talking about, maybe the 20 starts to exponential a little bit up, and maybe it'll make that fall just a little bit smaller, right? But yeah, really with Tilray, I think that's the bare minimum line right there, right? The 192. Really, I'm going to say it again. We want to get over 201, all right? The one thing that I'm starting to like, all right? So I'm zooming out for a reason. Let's just zoom out. Let's zoom out. Damn, let's keep zooming out. All right, I think this is a decent view. That's too much. Let's go right here. Okay. For the most part, it seems like this level where I'm clicking down here in the volume, roughly that 12 million, that kind of seems to be the volume that it likes. The issue is that 50-day volume line's been significantly higher. Keeps going up, keeps going up, keeps going up, and especially the more recent moments, right? It was, I mean, you can, as I'm clicking here, this is basically 18. This one right here is 15. This one right here is 13. So yeah, that 12 to 15, right? We've lifted that 50-day line just a little too high. But all of this, again, what's this day? Look at that, 13. What's this one? 14. What's this one? 10, right? All of these kind of back to normal days is starting to make that 50-day line a little more realistic. It's now down to 16. And you know what? Hey, it hasn't been the prettiest, but each of the last days, you can basically say we've hit that line, right? Break all the moving averages and start to break the 50-day volume line. That could be a real big thing for Tilray. Literally the exact same things actually happening on CGC. And I think it's actually even uglier here. Just like, look at how far away we are from the 50-day, how far away we are, how far away we are. All of a sudden, hey, all right, it's starting to come down a little bit. It's starting to get to this like, oh, I only need 5 million. I could hit 7 million, right? And as I zoom out, look at that. That 7 million is actually significantly better than some of where we've been, right? So I'm liking where the volume average is, because again, if you're not breaking the average volume, you're not even getting a C if you're in the like American school system, right? Like a C student is average. If you're below average, you're a D or F, right? And come on now, no one gets a bumper sticker and no one gets no ice cream if you're bringing home D's and F's, right? So at least get a little better, or at least start to like make me believe you're average. Because hey, an average kid could start to get into that B range, right? Again, I'm making bad jokes about schooling. So let's talk about the candles a little bit, all right? This is definitely a doji to me, all right? Look at this thing. This thing opens at $8.18, runs all the way up there, falls all the way down there, and you know what? Decides to only move 2 pennies in a 7-hour day. Talk about uncertainty, all right? I love the fact that CGC is well above the 50% of yesterday, right? It only lost roughly 10% of yesterday, right? It obviously says 1 point whatever, but you get like in terms of that's a full 100%, like I've drank about, 5-10% of that glass of water right there, right? I think as long as we're over this 50 moving average, $7.75 roughly, I think that's good. I would even maybe raise that number just a little higher to like 790. I think 790 is probably the lowest I would really feel comfortable with CGC. Again, I talked about the golden crosses, so hopefully all we start to do is bounce on the 8 as it goes up. Because again, you see we did it so well, right? Like it knows how to do it. Just be careful with that 20 moving average on CGC. With Tilray, like I said, I don't like the candle as much, but hey, we're over half of yesterday. I think this one lost a little bit more. We probably lost like 33%. I'm cool with that, right? Again, I'd love better, but hey, give me at least hold half. That's all I ask for. I'm not asking for a lot here, right? And again, I talked about we're still over the 8. Just get me over the moving averages. 201 is the big thing. Last thing we'll look at is the weekly, all right? Still a bunch going on Tilray's weekly, all right? This is basically trying to regain, like one thing that happens is you go down, you go horizontal, and that's the point where you either go up, or man, you keep going down. And look, you see it a lot on the daily. You go down, you go horizontal, hey, this time it went up. You go down, you go horizontal, oh my goodness, right? Like it's a lot more 50-50 than you would imagine, but Tilray on the weekly is going from down to horizontal. And again, it's a long horizontal, but we're getting near the point, and it seems like there's a decent shot at us maybe retesting that 240, right? That's the 100 moving average on the weekly. Anything above $2.40 is a very aggressive target on Tilray, all right? Obviously, I have my 270 line. Obviously, I don't even have a 240 line drawn here. Keep that in your back pocket, all right? Let's look at CGC on the weekly, and then we'll move into the last two I want to do here. Again, same basic view. I would almost say this is a little prettier. This went down. This is going horizontal, and it's trying to go up, right? I don't know if I'm going to take that it's prettier comment back. You can pretty much say it's horizontal on that 585. But yeah, this one's giving me reason to think 100 moving average. This one just has a nicer move from 8 something to 13, right? As opposed to Tilray, who's got that shot from 1 something to like 2 something, right? Again, really, both are nice percentages. Don't get me wrong. But again, just something to consider, right? But we are at a place where, excuse me, small hiccup. We're at a place where we need a couple more political headlines to really take this to the next level, all right? I saw a headline today that that Trump is down. He would love to debate with Kamala. On the last debate, there was not a single mention of weed, right? It'd be beautiful if that doesn't happen on this next one, all right? So let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. The next two I do want to look at are SNDL and HITI, and they're actually a little bit different, so I think I'm just going to do a really quick couple minute thoughts on both. So hey, real quick, if you can, please subscribe, please share. It does wonders with the algorithms, all right? So I would say SNDL actually looks like the best of the four right now, all right? Now, the one thing I don't like as much is this volume, all right? So again, when we were looking at tilray, I don't know if you just fast forward this or not, but the last few days, and a significant amount, really, what, 6 of the 7 days were either on or over the 50-day average, right? When I looked at CGC, you know, I would say 1, 2, 3, 5 of the 7, right? Not as pretty, but definitely prettier. When I look at SNDL, I look at, you see, and that's why I kind of made that sound. It's almost like that CGC view. Yeah, so maybe I'm taking my comments back as I'm saying them. But yeah, look, I think the easy thing I wanted to say is it's not as pretty. There's definitely this like ugly like plateau and like cavity down here, right? Like almost Grand Canyons real quick. I like that the last 2 days have been a little bit nicer, right? But yeah, again, I just make me believe the volume. Look, all I'm asking is to be the average, right? Be a little better than the average, and you're gonna make me smile, right? When you're that far below average, no one's happy, right? So give me a little bit more, you know what I mean? But hey, at least do average, okay? This right here, though, is pretty. Okay, this right here is pretty. When I talked about tilray, I talked about, and you know, I don't even know if I mentioned it, but the high of the day right here was 192. The close of the day was 192. When I look at SNDL, look at this thing, right? The high of the day, it's the fourth line over there. No, sorry, the third line, $2.27. The close of the day was $2.27. I love that. I do, right? I would have wanted a stronger candle the next day. That's kind of the echo over the last 3. But hey, this is a better doji than the other ones. Just give me a little bit more, right? I think I can actually lower that line to here. I think if you give me a 240 close, that's going to be too low, I think. Again, that's basically what we wicked. I think if you can give me a 241, 242 close, I'm going to start thinking to myself, 280s, all right? The one thing to say is the RSI is just a little on the high side, so hey, I'd love to get over it, maybe come back, bounce, and go, all right? But yeah, again, this one does look like the best of the 3, and hey, look at this weekly. This one had a battle, had a third battle with the 100 and is definitely beating it, as opposed to tilray, who's only had 1 and none, as opposed to CGC, who hasn't even had 1, right? So SNDL looks significantly better on the weekly. Maybe that's going to be foreshadowing for the other two. Hey, at the minimum, who cares? It's great for SNDL, who's already there, and then some, right? So, man, it actually seems like 200 might be a decent thought. Oof, man, I don't want to put a 4-something target on a 230 stock. I think for now, what I want to do, I'm going to... give me a second. Let's go to the daily. Let me look at this. All right, so this is back when? Oh, man, that's 2020. Let's start looking here. All right, so this is what I'm going to do. See, but no, I want to keep this. All right, we're going to raise it to that. I'm going to take the top of that candle, almost the bottom there. I think these are the new lines. And again, I think on the weekly, for now, let's oh, nice. I like that. And that's actually almost half of that guy right there. Let's do this and this. I think even 350 is a little aggressive, all right? That's a little bit more than a 50% raise, right? You're going to add one more dollar to a 2-something stock, right? So I think this is a healthy view. One more time, look at that. It's only a 60 RSI. The weekly was already pushing 75 not that long ago. MACD held positive. Just give me a little more volume over the week. But yeah, oof. Oof, oof, oof. I spent a little more time on this than I thought, but yeah, SNDL looks great, actually. Let's end it with high tide, and high tide is at a very, very critical point right now, all right? So really quickly, please, if you can subscribe, if you can share this video all over the place, it does wonders with the algorithms. Hey, I just hit 4,000 subscribers. That was actually a very cool milestone. So, it starts with these two candles right here. This right here was earnings. My last, what, 3-4 videos, if I had to guess, I liked the earnings, all right? But my simple human opinion doesn't matter. It means absolutely nothing. And I say it with all due respect, it's the same as yours, right? Now, if you're long and strong, it's how you gauge deciding if you're going to go long and strong and stronger and longer and all that sort of stuff, right? But to me, I'm a daily and weekly trader, right? Those are the views that we're looking at. And as good as I thought earnings was, the market reaction said no. The market reaction, the biggest real candle was a loss of the 8 and the 20 just right there, right? We never got, like, we got a wick of a beautiful moment, but oof. And then from there, all we did was just live under. Listen, was it deserved? Was it manipulation? Was it short attacks? I don't know. I don't care. It's why I live and die by these lines. And I say that so it's so true. You know what I mean? My opinions of earnings don't matter as much as holding the 8 and the 20. It doesn't matter as much as losing the 50. It doesn't matter as much as losing the 100. We are now at a bounce or die moment, all right? We either lose all 5 and die, and I mean, I have to draw this line. I don't want to, but I think that's our line right there. I think it's basically the bottom of that. I wanted the half of that. That's the line I wanted. So it's basically, I'm even going to lower. That's our line. I think I put it in the same place. Who cares? It's half of that, almost the top of that. Looks like it's the bottom of that. If we lose 190, it's going to be a quick 10% drop to 170. All right. What we need to do is use this 200 to bounce our way up. And you know what? Today's a really, really interesting candle. All right. We are a very, very low RSI in the 30s. All right. And there's no guarantee that you're going to go up. In fact, look at this thing. We were at a really low RSI of 12. We made a peak of only 21 just to come back down to an RSI of 7. We might be going up to 30 just so we can go even lower than that to 4, all right? And that's not what I'm hoping for, but again, you got to look at both sides of the coin, right? What we need now is to bounce. This is a red, 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 green, 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 green. This should be a fast ride to 204. We must retake 204. All right, that is a very, very important line. If we can do that, maybe I'll start thinking 215 from there. Volume's the issue here. All right, when I look at Tilray, look at how close and above actually we are that white 50-day volume average. When I look at CGC, same kind of story, right? When I look at SNDL, same kind of story. I wish it was a little prettier, but I'd say same story. When I look at high tide, that's not the story, all right? Again, I keep saying it. Volume was struggling to get anywhere near the 100Ks. Right? It was back here. You can, like, it was a 40, like it was there, right? We all of a sudden make our ways to the millions. We're now kind of making our ways back down, right? And hey, I'm cool holding this like 300-ish, right? 2-something-ish. We can't let the volume go much lower, and I think holding or losing that 200 moving average might dictate that, all right? So let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. Hey, thank you so much.